everyone, my name is Joy Ofodu. I am a voice actor, digital comedian, and creative executive officer at Joy Ofodu LLC, an influential entertainment company. I just posted about why I left Instagram, and I'm going to be continuing this series of videos on how to balance full-time creativity, full-time work, how I navigated starting my own company while working at and then leaving the largest social media company in the world. So if you'd like more videos like this, please be sure to hit like and subscribe and even drop a comment. Let me know what you're curious to learn more about. All right, I like to get right into my video. So this is why I stayed at Instagram for so long, 4.5 years. I started at Instagram as a teen community intern in 2017. The community team was a team that was focused on everyday people or users of Instagram and small and medium businesses, unlocking inclusion and trends and niche communities so that we could better understand what was happening on the platform. This is at a time when Mike and Kevin still worked there, so one of the reasons that I stayed is that I was very curious to learn from these visionaries. Even after Mike and Kevin left, I could still tell that the values that they instilled in the company, people first, simplicity, craft, were really, really deep rooted within employees, their missions, and the projects that we had. So after Mike and Kevin left, I stayed. Next is that the benefits were incredible. Okay, it is very easy to stay at a company where every single need of yours, roughly, is being taken care of. People will talk about tech benefits a lot, right? And tell you that it's like quote unquote golden handcuffs. Girl, I didn't feel like they were handcuffs. I definitely felt like they were privileges. Though I felt like I was working in an amazing place. When I would speak to my friends or colleagues about, hey, like, what does your work offer? What does your job offer? There was something that Facebook, now Meta, or Instagram had that no other company had. So for me, and I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who was not married and not a parent, also does not have a major disability that needs to be addressed through benefits. So please keep that in mind when I'm talking about how the benefits worked for me. I really enjoyed the wellness benefit. This was like an annual benefit that we get to take care of things. I would use it on massages, horseback riding. You can use it for visits to national parks, even wellness equipment. And I just felt like this was so generous for us to be able to address our kind of health care related needs in any way that we wanted. We got discounts on meditation. And so, now I lead meditation. So I'm frequently, experiencing that either through Shine Up or my other voiceover endeavors. But for somebody who was just breaking into technology and really experiencing a lot of overwhelm, it was great to have a meditation benefit and a mental health benefit. We got to sit down with mental health professionals every month if you need it, or every other month, right, throughout the year, and just handle your benefits as you please. Like that type of freedom and flexibility, but specifically an encouragement while you're working at this large tech company with all these different things coming in. Instagram was always in the news. It was great to have this mental health benefit and focus on things both related to work and completely unrelated to work in my personal life, going through grief, going through trauma and traumatic events that I just really needed to address. So the benefits were awesome. Wellness was just one of many. There were things related to financial planning, to estate planning that were great to have. We got to expense there's FSA, HSA, 401k. Like there were a lot of great benefits. Medical, dental, vision. I was able to get laser eye surgery and get $2,000 off of my surgery. You can watch my other YouTube videos about LASIK to see exactly how that went down. And really, I just felt like everything was taken care of. I got to see providers at Kaiser and within my network and just felt very good about what the company offered. So hell yeah, I stayed. This was my first job. There's so much to learn when you freshly come out of college. I graduated undergraduate communication major at the University of Southern California. I double minored in marketing and Spanish. And I certainly had a lot of internship experience, a lot of organizational experience, but there was nothing like being thrown right into Instagram and into Facebook at the time to really understand what was happening in the world, much less the technology industry, begin to understand the world on a global scale. I was based in the United States, based in San Francisco, working on marketing creative in Japan and in India and in France and in Germany. And it was just insane to both sink my hands into and teeth into, but also fly out to those places to lead productions. This is a benefit that I think not a lot of people get. So as a first job, hell, even if I was just at my desk, there's so much to learn from other marketers and mentors that really propelled how I stayed throughout the years. Next, you got to learn from our leaders that I got to learn from Facebook and Instagram's leaders every single week. So Mark Zuckerberg obviously gives Q&A, that's like a public fact. And I got to hear from the leaders at Instagram as well across different levels. there was a time when they would just sit down at a panel, right? So we get to hear from more than even just Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram. And Adam would give really candid thoughts. We know this because he does this on his own channels as well. He started to share more of that with the world. So I always felt like I was clued in on what was happening week to week at Instagram, like not super in the dark about where the company was going, or the general direction. And that level of investment gave me confidence to stay for 4.5 years. Next is that my colleagues were truly lovely. I worked with great people. I hope and pray that I get to work with them again throughout my career, but me leaving Instagram is not a case of having bad managers or bad colleagues. Like, I truly got along with the 99.999% of the people that I worked with and deeply enjoyed, their company, their insights. These people are hungry, they're curious, they come from Brazil and from the United Kingdom and bring such varied experience. It is truly a work environment that I may never experience again in the exact same way, and to work with people who genuinely care about what they're doing. As we supported girls and Girl Scouts and policy, as we supported the teens of Instagram and their well-being. You are sitting down with people who actually care about what it is that they do that pays them, and that is very rare. These people were also so supportive. They uplifted me on a regular basis. They gave me clear, direct, transparent feedback, so I never really wondered about where I sat with a lot of my colleagues, and if I did, I could just ask them. So that was absolutely a gift and why I stayed. Next is that my position as an integrated marketing manager, even brand marketing coordinator at Facebook, as young as I was able to bring other opportunities to my network. I referred over 200 people to the company, and several got employed. I think 4 to 5 got employed from my time there. There was an aspect of getting to cast people, right, and be in charge of casting decisions on productions, bring in hundreds. This is one of my, to me, both biggest flexes, but biggest prides. I hand-picked and hand-selected hundreds of creators to participate in our Share Black Stories programming over the years. This is elbow work that just nobody else had the time or scope for, even though they were super engaged and invested. There's some things you just need to take on for yourself. So I obviously can't say too much about what the work was, right, or how we got it done. But I was deeply involved in scaling that program and in getting the general community, people who would have never had a contact, never had a chance, directly onboarding over 10 vendors, artists, agencies, etc. to Instagram, and a lot of them being Black agencies and Black owned. My company supported me in doing so. So I don't want anybody to get the idea that, Joy had to do all this at Instagram because nobody at Instagram cared. No, they cared. And that's why they let me run, right? Even having, I did not have at the time, right, 10 years, 15 years of agency experience or proven track record. I just had the record that I was building every day, and I had energy, I had enthusiasm, a network of clearly talented people that I could bring in. So I focused that effort and that energy and any spare meetings on underrepresented people, Black people, Latino people, disabled people, queer people, and I brought them into the company as vendors, as partners, as creative talent, or as guests. So I was like, dang, as long as I am in this position, my community will benefit greatly. So that was also part of both the pressure, but the extreme privilege and opportunity to stay at Instagram for 4.5 years. Next is that I could balance being a full-time creative and a full-time employee. That is something super rare. Hours at Instagram were not 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 7 to 3. You got to craft them as long as you were working 8 hours a day and 40 hours a week. Some people worked more than 40 hours a week, but I just had my own personal boundaries that worked for me to get my projects done. So that level of flexibility to have really different work days really helped me as a creative. I could film in the morning or in the afternoon or at night and make sure that I just flexibly got my work done. Ooh, I love the independence. I love being let go. Just tell me what to do and when you need it done by, and I'll go ahead and take care of it, right? I didn't need to be micromanaged in Instagram. And I think micromanagement is something that drives a lot of Gen Zers away, right? Because of the way that we think, and we're revolutionizing the workplace. At Instagram, if somebody came to me with a specific project and I had my own personal projects, I could just independently sort out how I was going to get both done. And I think another thing is that some companies won't even let their employees be creators or be creatives, right? If you are, maybe in the government, there's probably restrictions about what you can do and who you can hire in your own business if you have a side business. Some companies will say you cannot have a side business, but Facebook/Meta was super open and super encouraging about that. You just need to document everything register everything and be really transparent with the company that is hiring you, is giving you those benefits to say, hey, here's what my company is, here's how much time I plan to spend either per week, per month, or per year on the project, or here's my position on this nonprofit board seat. Like, you just have to be transparent with Meta, and then you can be a full-time creative and employee. There are some obvious conflicts that I mentioned in my first video of places that I couldn't work, but why I stayed for so long is that when I got the inkling to be a creative, I knew that working at Meta would not limit me, it would only empower and open up the opportunities that I had for my business. I got promotions and raises about every year and a half. So the opportunity to continue to grow in my role is what kept me at Meta. As long as I was growing, as long as I felt like I could get promoted, I would stay. And even at the point where I did, recently leave, it's not that I felt like I couldn't get promoted. I would have, right, had I stayed. But I just say that that's what kept me there, knowing that there's still another level of being an IC or independent contributor. There's still another IC level to hit. There's still more goals, more growth area. And my managers over time were very transparent with me about how I could grow, what it would take for me to reach the next level. And then they would meet their promises, right? When they said that I might be promoted, I would be promoted. Not everybody has that experience at the company or at other companies, but I did. So again, just relaying my personal story, that's what worked for me and why I stayed. I did not make as much money being promoted within Meta as I would have had I hopped to different companies every year and a half or 2 years, salary hopping. I know that. That said, it covered my day-to-day living expenses and then some, right? I was living below my means. So for me, I mentioned in the first video, I'm not somebody who's motivated by money. So the opportunity to make more money is not why I'm gonna leave a company when all these other things are working in my favor. I'm a stayer, that's just kind of how I work. I like to dig deep into organizations, and a flash of more money or more salary is not gonna move me. It is okay, and I honor and respect anybody who is doing that to advantage themselves, to advantage their family, to advantage future generations. Salary hopping is a technique that's gonna work better for you to increase what you're being paid than staying at one company. But for me and mine, I know that I'm best serving myself, my company, my community if I stay. Next is that I was earning well, and I had investment hopes. I had 3 big investment hopes. One was in my education. So I was able to pay for my own graduate school. I had a small scholarship, but I was able to pay for grad school out of pocket. Pulled out almost 40 G's out of pocket to pay for grad school. I was able to invest in the stock market, right, and set something up for myself for retirement and for future generations. Invest in financial planning services. And then there was one final huge investment that I'll be talking about very, very soon. But being at Meta allowed me to make all 3 of those investments. At Instagram, there was a culture of being able to ping anybody, like message them on our internal servers about their jobs, about their projects, what they do. That level of transparency doesn't exist at other tech companies. So part of the reason why I stayed is that if my curiosity ever stretched beyond my project areas or beyond my team, I knew that I could just ping anybody. Oh, hey, what do you work on? Hey, can we chat? And it wasn't that I was trying to switch teams, because as I mentioned, I started on the Instagram marketing team, ended my job on the Instagram marketing team. I wasn't looking for another place to go within Instagram, but I knew that I could ask anybody about their jobs, and that was really rare. Okay, next is that I love the work. I actually love what I got to do, and I often describe being at Instagram as my dream job. It was and is my dream corporate job. Being on and leading productions, casting, hiring people, bringing in creatives, approving creative designs. This is my dream corporate job, right? So I stayed because I love the work. I love what we got to do. I loved protecting users on Instagram. I love giving them features that enable and empower their creativity, empower activism, empower give back. That fed my soul. The opportunity to frequently travel was part of why I stayed at Instagram for 4.5 years. You get on a plane. I traveled to New York, Atlanta, Los Angeles many times. I got an opportunity to travel to Brazil, though I didn't go. Went to Mexico City twice with my job. That ability to globally travel and be taken care of while you're doing it, a little corporate carp. That's part of why I stayed. Instagram really opened up my world in that way. I've been to places in the world that I probably wouldn't have visited myself. I've researched places in the world and cultures that I probably wouldn't have looked into had I not worked there. So I think it was an excellent and perfect first job to bring my global awareness up and my virtual citizenship up. I got those passports stamped for sure, but it wasn't just about travel flicks. It made me a better marketer and a better person. Okay, why I stayed when the pandemic hit is that I was looking to go into grad school, right? I'm still very happy in my job, still all of the other reasons that I mentioned, and I wanted familiarity, right? So after maybe 2 years, people start looking around, okay, like, should I work somewhere? But me, I wanted the familiarity. I needed my day-to-day to become so, not mundane, but just so normal, so handleable, that this new challenge of grad school would be easier to manage, right? So if you start a graduate program while working full-time, and I made another YouTube video about that, you face so many new challenges, new stimuli, new names, new contacts, new dates, new deadlines. Whoo! Imagine handling all that while starting a new job. Absolutely not. No ma'am, no ham. Finally, I stayed because I got promoted regularly. I kind of mentioned this a little bit, but seriously, just like the facts. Finally, I stayed because I knew that if I wanted to, I could change roles within Meta. So the ability to move internally inside the company, which is something that, a lot of my friends or colleagues did, switching teams, is something that kept me there. Knowing that I wasn't really limited by my job title, by my team, by my role. I was empowered by it because I loved it. But if I ever wanted to leave it, I could. That was empowering and my motivation was. I hope y'all liked this video. I hope it was informative about, working at Meta/Instagram, why I personally decided to stay, because it was a little bit of a longer stint compared to some others. I had been working at the company much longer than many people, so I felt tenured. I felt like a vet. It's my first job, but I've been here longer than a lot of y'all. And I'm proud of that. I'm so proud of the work I've done in technology. I know that I will continue to work with Instagram and Meta as a creator and a creative. And then hopefully, someday find my way back. Might find my way back in a different role. Keep your eyes on this channel because we're going to be talking more about how you can leave your job. No, I'm not trying to tell you how to leave your job. How you can balance being a full-time creative, how to write a resignation letter if you are in a place of leaving your job, or just more about working at Instagram. Okay, see you on the channel. Bye.